My viewers, good evening and God bless you. I'm reaching you once again from Ikima's TV studio, which I have, which I introduced few weeks or few days ago, barely 2 or 3 weeks ago now, 2 weeks ago. And today I am reaching you with a topic that I want to do some explanations to, and it says knowledge and understanding are not static; they grow. Knowledge and understanding are not static, they grow. What do I mean by that? What you know yesterday, or what you know years ago, what you know some time ago, need to expand, cannot remain the same level. The understanding you acquire from what you learned or from what you knew years ago doesn't remain the same. You need to grow. The more you grow in life, the more you travel in life, the more you have contacts, the more you have relationship with different people, different persons or groups of persons, the more you are exposed to the world, you are exposed to many issues or many things in life, the more your understanding develops, the more your knowledge increase, or I mean your understanding increases because your knowledge increases by day or by the day or every day or every time our knowledge increases. So understanding grows or and expand. Understanding grows or expand based on your knowledge. My knowledge expands my understanding. What I know, what I hear and understand, it makes me develop. It makes me increase in in experience in life because those people I come in contact with, what I heard or what I am hearing, it keeps on developing me, keeps on making me to know better, and then and daily being polished. That is to say, some of those things that I knew yesterday or years ago or times ago that are not good, but at that point in time, I thought it was right. I thought it was good. I thought it was the best. But now that I'm hearing again and again, I am developing, adding to that, or removing some of those things, or adding to those things I knew. Sometimes many of those things we knew before that were not that were immature, that were childish, have to be washed or have to be polished by and by as we grow, as we expand in our knowledge and understanding. So the more we get knowledge, the more likely we are to get understanding. That's true. The more we get knowledge, the more knowledge we get, the more likely our understanding, the more understanding will become, because understanding, knowledge is not static, or they are not static. They grow, they metamorphose, they go from one level to another, they go from one experience to another, they go from one understanding to another. Okay, and then the quality and the level of our understanding depends on the level of our exposure in life, or the exposures, or the way we expose our mind, or what we expose our minds to. Now, what we expose our minds to in life uh, increases or decreases the quality of our understanding. Do I repeat that? What we are exposed to, or what we expose our minds to in life, can increase our understanding, our maturity, our faithfulness, our usefulness, our importance, our comportment, our attitude. But if we also do not, if because it depends on what you are exposed to. If we are not also exposed to good things or good things in life, along the way or along the line, you depreciate in your knowledge instead of getting matured, instead of getting improved. You rather begin to depreciate. You see people, they say, this man is supposed to be an elderly person. This person is supposed to be a mature person. Why is he behaving? And there are some people like that. When they are growing, they become more of a nuisance to the society because many things they expose themselves to that are negative are now playing back, or they play back to their life. They show, they come up in their life, they manifest in their life. So what we expose our minds to can qualify, or um, can magnify the quality of our understanding, or the level of our understanding, good or bad. So when we continue to expose our mind and our heart, our eyes to good things in life, it will upgrade our understanding and make us better than what we were yesterday. That. Okay, and again, as to add more to that, understanding changes or develop characters or attitude, that as we open ourselves to them, our own, I mean, what we hear and the way we know them develops our character. If we hear something that is good and we do not understand, in order to be able to apply, then we cannot develop in our character. Our character cannot be developed for the better. Our character cannot be developed for good. We still remain babies. We still remain in that local, that remote worldview, the mindset that we know or that we have been with. But as we continue from time to time, while we hear and we learn from what we hear, or those good things we hear, and we try to conserve, preserve, we don't sell them or push them away or allow anything to take it away from us, we will develop to become better persons. We develop to become useful persons, both to humanity and to God. So the quality, the level, I mean, what we expose ourselves to also qualifies, I mean, dignify and better our level of maturity, level of understanding in life. That is why people who are always exposing themselves I mean, to what will I call it now? Desperation. They are always crazy for vanity, for material things. So such people, because they are crazy and for those things, when they have any small shot of those things, when they have any problem, or when it does not work the way they wanted it to be, it becomes a problem to them. It downgrades their emotion, or it reduces their good emotion. So it makes them sick. Therefore, we need to understand that over time, we need to develop. I am not what I used to be 10, 20 years ago or 30 years ago. To me, I understand that I have matured. To me, I understand that I've grown more than what I used to be, even just 5 years ago. I understand now that the more things I hear, especially from the Bible, from messages of great men and women of God, the more I experience or I encounter people, especially those who negatively hurt me, or I mean, impacted me. That is, I'm sorry, that is to say, those who I went through. I mean, what as I went through them or as I experienced them, it was not good thing that they offered me. They offered me hurt. They offered me things that would have reduced my emotion, that would have made me to be sick. But because of the knowledge and understanding I have garnered all the years, and many other things that I've heard and I keep hearing that are good, it make me to bypass them. It make me to overlook them. It make me never to rely on those things or to count on those things. So it becomes as a shock absorber for me to be able to bounce on and move on in life without being worried by those things. Yeah, those things that I hear, those knowledge that I acquire, that is developing, that is increasing, and the understanding that is coming from that point and that is making me to get improved, to get better by the day. It helps me to be able to withstand many situations in life, to be able to withstand many difficulties in life, to be able to stand, to be able to move on, to be able to know that one with God is more than majority, to be able to know that as a human being, that every change is constant. Change is always something that you must expect, because you cannot be where you be now tomorrow. You may not be where you be now tomorrow. And even if you are where you are now tomorrow, then some certain things here need to change, as you still remain the same person you are without adding value to what you have been. I pray that God help us in Jesus' name. Okay, so and then again, understanding, as I said, it changes our character and the attitude if we can depend, if we can open, sorry, if we can open and expose our mind to the continuous information and knowledge that we receive. If we do not, if we stop learning, we stop dying. That is to say, you die in information, you die in understanding. It reduces your value. But when we keep learning, it helps us to keep understanding and to be able to move ahead and do the right things in life. Therefore, we need to open our mind. We need to be exposed to good knowledge in order to get good understanding. Therefore, also, if we remain in our old self, in our remote persons, in our traditional worldview, the way our parents, old parents look at things, the way the way cultures are being, the way our cultures are being manifested in the olden time, the way people look at education in the olden time, the way people look at sex in the olden time, that is male or female. They look at female as immaterial. They look at female as people. They are not supposed to go to school. They are just supposed to grow 18 years at most or higher, or 20. They are married off. No, it has to change. Women today become more manly enough. They are. It is not the private part that make them what they are. It is the strength. It is the ability to stand to take the right decision, to do things, and to be able to fulfill the purpose of God in their life that matters. Okay, when it comes to sexual part, that has its own part, or that the part it should play when it comes to relationship between husband and wife, also when it comes to reproduction. But outside that, we are not going to count on that to say, oh, because she's a woman, she doesn't need to be educated too much. Because she's a woman, she does not need to work, and she just has to be at home. Because she's a woman, she has to cover her head, everything. And because she's a woman, once you are married, you just leave yourself and you are now old. That is old mentality. So the more we grow in life, the more we are exposed to other people from other worldview, then the more we become better placed. The more we have, the more understanding will come. So we must come out our old self. We must come out of our remote persons, that old people we used to be, that old mentality that we used to have. We must come out of that and then become people who have a better worldview. Now we must understand that. So we can never metamorphose in our understanding of life if we remain the old persons that we are. If we remain the old persons that we are, we cannot metamorphose to become better persons, to have better understanding in life. We cannot grow, we cannot move on. So if we remain the same person that we are 10 years ago, then something is wrong. That is the dying that people talk about, that when you stop learning, you start dying, because you remain the same old person that you are, the same mentality, the same way you look at worldview. The only thing that cannot change is the word of God, because the word of God remains the same. What is good is always good. What is bad is always bad. Now, there are societies also that we may look bad, which are not from the word of God, which are not the basic commandment or the basic requirement from God. You understand? Maybe let me say, for instance, you talk about tying women tying their hairs, or you talk about women not talking in the church. All those things are views that are personal, that Apostle Paul used to settle a local issue in the church of Corinth. That was not a universal thing. And so, even though it was in the Bible, okay, yes, there are many issues like that we call situational ethics or situational matters, or ideas that you can use to settle matters. So it doesn't mean that people, because of that, now when women go to church and they didn't cover their hair and cover their eyes, that they are sinning. Or that if a woman is in the church, she just have to keep her mouth closed. She will not sing. She will not dance. Okay, some people say, okay, a woman can sing, a woman can dance, but the woman should not preach. Okay, if a woman can sing and dance, is it not to the glory of God? Then if a woman can preach, is it not also to the glory of God? You can understand that kind of worldview need to, because where you have not been, you may not understand. But while you move, while you interact, you begin to understand many things in better form that will develop you, that will develop me if I am if it is me that we are talking about here. So we are talking about everyone. So you must direct it yourself. Now, what you know based only in your comfortable zone or worldview is limited. What you know that is based on only your worldview, only your environment, only your family, only your tribe, only your nationality, like Nigeria, or like a Do State, or like a Kenya, or like Zimbabwe, or like South Africa, or like a Mali, as the case may be. When if what you know is only limited to that very zone, that very comfortable zone, that very limited place, then many things will go wrong in the way in your knowledge in life. And so when you now meet with people from other tribe or from other nationality or from other worldview or that have a different view about society, about some things, you also have your own view upon. You will look at them as evil. You will look at them as people that are not worth to be alive. But when you begin to interact and begin to move on in life, you understand that you need to develop as that person, those people, myself, need to metamorphose, need to grow, need to interact so that we can have better life and live in a better world. Okay, so that is that. If you remain your worldview, you'll be short-sighted. It is a limited worldview that is resulting from the unexposed mind that always cause complications or bottleneck in conflict resolution. Now, when we talk about conflict resolution, when you want to resolve issues between or tribal issues or national issues or international issues, like in public relations. Now, when you want to resolve issue, it will be difficult to bring two people together if one or both of these two different persons have remained or stick to their own individual worldview, individual mindset, individual orientation, individual tradition, that they think is better than the other. And if they remain like that, they are not having microscope to or something with which they can also see from the other side, that even though they stand on this point, that other people also have the right to stand on their point. Then, in order to resolve issues, tribal issues, or ethnic issue, or religious issue, then we need to look at it from both sides, so that we'll be able to accommodate each other, not to conform to the other person, but to be able to allow the other person to live like English people will say, live and let live. Now, you have your life, you have your worldview. Okay, the other person have his or her life, he has his or her worldview. Then you should not destroy him. You should not say he does not he's not worth living, or his life is not worth living. As you say that your own is worth living. Like people today, they will say, okay, because you do not believe in the same thing I believe on, then you need to die so that you just leave this world for me. That is immaturity in the highest order. That is ignorant. That is ignorance. That is limited worldview. That is lack of good orientation. That is bad attitude. So it's bad manner. When you know that you are, even if you don't want to live, even if you do not see importance to life that makes you to be killing other people, then you can kill yourself and go and let the other people who see importance to life live. Therefore, if you want to live, then you also know that the other person also has a right. He has his right to live. And even though you believe in one thing, or that person, like me, I'm a Christian, and you are a Muslim, or you are Hindu, or whatever you believe, I will want you to live your life. I should not kill you. And if we are dragging issues, then we should be able to meet at the point and say, okay, let us divide it like Lot and Abraham, instead of us killing ourselves, instead of us making our world become dangerous, or become less. I mean, become how will I put it now? Become difficult for us to live. So we need to understand. So that is why I said that knowledge and understanding is not static, but it grows. It needs to grow in order for us to be able to become more mature and be able to live life that is worthwhile, that God will be happy of. So many things we claim to know or understand uh, are limited until we move out of our own immediate boundary. Many things that we claim to know, many things that we claim to understand are limited if we are only in our boundary, if we are only in our local place, in our own remote location, in our own tradition, in our own culture. But if we are able to move across culture, across boundary, across international line, across tribal line, across ethnic line, or across religious divides, then it means we are getting getting more knowledge, and on our understanding has improved a great deal, because it is a man or a person that understands life that will be able to live comfortably with other people, with their own views, with their own beliefs, with their own way of life. Now, I'm not saying that living in the same room, okay, you may not live in the same room, but you can live in the same building. You can live in the same city without destroying yourselves, without killing one another. When you have good understanding, when your understanding is not remote, when your understanding is not still limited, when your understanding is not still local, then you'll be able to do that. But if your understanding is still limited, local, just of it or your own tradition, then it means you cannot live in a better world, because you'll be living a dangerous, you'll be posing danger to other people in this world. Okay, and then what one person know and understand as and claim as normal in his own land or in his own language or in his own culture may be abnormal in some other land or other culture or language. Okay? What I think I know is normal, is the best in my own culture, in my own language. It may be something else and something better. And maybe you are looking at you are from a distance, you see some certain things with us in our culture, in our land, in our language, and it sounds so naive. I mean, it sounds so ridiculous. It sounds so bad because of the way you hear it, because you are looking from afar or seeing it from afar, hearing it from afar. It will look like we are not supposed to be alive. But the more you get closer and you have wider look, or you have a deeper look into my culture, into my ethnic, into my religion, then you will understand, hey, it is because I'm seeing it from afar. For instance, I just make an example here. I said when you go to Germany, okay, now like one English word that says bad, B-A-D, in English word is bad. But B-A-D in German word is not bad. It's like a pool. You talked about riverine, talk about water or area of water. I cannot really explain it now, but when you say bad, they have other things they add to it, but that word bad is there, but it is not the bad in English. You have a lot of cities that you call Basozave, Badiz, Baghdad, BAD, that will call bad, that will look that the Englishman call bad, that will if somebody say you are bad, then it's insulting you. But when somebody is telling you about bad in Deutschland, in Germany, he's talking about river, he's talking about a place of water, he's talking about a pool, something like that. So you can understand what I'm trying to say. That until you leave your worldview, you leave your immediate environment, your local or remote place, you will think your knowledge is high. You will think your knowledge is great. You need to move out so that you can synthesize, so that you can take from the other one and add to your own and become a better person. And the other person take from you and add to his or her own, and they become better person. While we do that, they will be able to live together in the same world, in the same environment, and there will be peace. Without that, it is difficult for peace to reign. So sometimes also there are some words that we may look at that is insultive in my own language. And that same word may appear in another tribe or in another country. And that same word means something honorable, means something great, means something good. So sometimes you will just laugh. And sometimes when some people even mention, say something in their own language, with their own tribe, like Italy and or Germany here. Now, Italy here or Germany, it may look somehow to my ears. Well, don't they know that this word means something bad in my own language? But in their own language, in their own culture, it means something good. So what am I talking about? That knowledge and understanding is not static. It does not remain in one place. It's not bad. You need to grow. You need to metamorphose. You need to expand. Okay? You need to grow. That is what I'm talking about. Because when we are able to have this kind of mentality, then the world become a better place, because you will allow the other person to see it from his own worldview and never claim that he is your enemy or she's your enemy. The same thing is applicable to that person as well. So it is very essential. Now, the reason Christians and Muslims do certain things against each other is as a result of divergent views to one particular thing. The way Muslims, Christians, or Christianity and Islam are antagonists to themselves. It's just because of the way they are looking at it from their own different angle. When you really look at the Bible, uh, Isaac and what I call Ishmael, the son of Hagar in the Bible, they are from the same father. But Muhammad grew up and tried to see the difference, and then after reading part of Judaism and reading part of hedonism and tried to modify things, he wanted to create a religion that is after over 500 years, 570 years after Jesus Christ has reigned and gone, which after many years, Abraham, Isaac have lived and died. So as he tried to create, okay, he put these things together, and then the interpretation that people are giving to it now makes it look like we are enemies. It is not supposed to be so. We are not supposed to be enemies. It's like the child that is adopted, or the child that is rejected by a father, or the child that is accepted by a father. They are still the same children. Even though one of them has problem with the father, the children are not supposed to have problem with themselves. I don't think Isaac and Ishmael had problems. It may be, according to what we read from the Bible, that Hagar, who was trying to prove stubborn to the to her mistress or to her madam, that caused some of those things. But nevertheless, what I'm trying to say, this is not about everything is not about the Bible here now. I'm talking about our knowledge and understanding. Though from the perspective as a Christian, that's where I'm talking from. But you should we should be able to spread this thing. We should be able to last this this talk or this discourse to a very wider spectrum, so that you will understand it deeper than this. That we need to grow our understanding, our knowledge need to grow, so that we can become better persons. Okay, and the point here is that we need to grow our understanding, our knowledge and understanding, by having wider look or wider view about life, about other people, about other things, about other words, other issues, other matters, so that looking at it from my own worldview should not make me look at the other people as enemy, but rather should make me to understand that even though those people, they believe what they believe, they behave what they behave, it may be ignorance on their part, it may be lack of good understanding on their part, it may be lack of good orientation or good home upbringing on their part. Then because I'm matured, because I understand, because I have been able to synthesize from different worldview, because I have exposed my mind, because I have exposed myself to many viewpoints in the world, I will be able to put up with other people living around without turning them to become enemies of mine. So, and that is all the issue about life. And then this can go a long way to cause, I mean, to ease tension, to reduce tension, to reduce hate, and reduce evil action in the world. If we are able to follow or operate in this little explanation I am trying to give here, my belief is that with these few minutes, uh, myself, because uh, as I was busy doing something this evening, this message or this idea came into my mind. I quickly wrote it down and I look at this. Okay, let me quickly put it on video so that if you go out to my viewers, um, um, no matter the distance, the video can go far, and you, other people, viewers, listeners, can sit down and get one or two things and gain one or two things that will help our world, so that we will, through our exposed heart, mind, and our exposed self, will be able to uh, understand and be able to live peaceably, because the word of God tells us that we should try and live peaceful life, or live a peaceful life amongst or in the world with other people. So as you listen to this video, I pray that your understanding grow. Pray that your knowledge expand. I pray that uh, you will not remain what you are. You will not remain static. Your knowledge, your understanding will not remain static. As I'm talking to you now, my prayer is that I develop. I understand life better than this. And I will continue to learn, continue to hear, read, and get more understanding that will make me to be more comfortable. Because if I know better, if I understand better, I will be able to live a comfortable life that will eventually be comfortable to the other person around me, whether as a neighbor in a community, in the house, in the vehicle, in whatever vehicle, form of vehicle. They are become my, they are my neighbor. If we are going along the same way or living the same environment. So if I understand life better, if I have good knowledge, I'm growing in in knowledge and understanding, then I will be able to live a comfortable life that you will not, your own worldview, your own limited understanding will not shatter me, because I have a broader, a wider understanding. So if every one of us has wider and broader understanding, then you find that we'll be able to curtail many of the vices, many of the many of the things that cause conflicts, that cause wars, that cause fight around the world. I pray that God will help us. I pray that you be able to understand this as a little as I also understand little of it that make me to put it here, and so that we can grow and understand it better and better. God bless you.